Good morning, everyone. It's October 7th, 2019. I'm Eric. How's everyone doing this morning? I hope you're all doing well. Trump supporters start confronting Democrats on the street. Dear Dems, how does it feel now that the shoe is on the other foot? And this one comes from Susan Duclos here at All News Pipeline. Okay, so by now, most of you know that Maxine Waters, among many other leftards, called for the harassment of anybody that's outside of their ideology, but specifically Trump supporters. Now, most of you know that I don't support any presidential candidate or any politician whatsoever. However, these people should have the right to speak whatever bullshit they're spouting, just as I should have the same right. But leftists see it completely different. And they see it as, if you disagree with my ideology, we should do everything possible to deplatform and silence you. And after nearly 4 years, the Trump-tards have begun to fight back. How about that? And I say nearly 4 years. Okay, so this Susan here, obviously she's a Trump supporter, and it's unfortunate that people are still, falling for that shit, but it is what it is. But for 3 years, she says, even before the 2016 presidential election, Trump supporters have been verbally and physically attacked, which they have. While Democrat politicians encouraged unhinged liberals to confront Trump supporters and cabinet members in public to harass them, while those same supporters watched Democrats and the establishment media accuse the president of collusion with Russia nearly every single day. And of course, if we wanted to see the real collusion, we would not be looking at Russia or Ukraine, but rather Israel. That's where the real collusion occurs, is with Israel. And that's unfortunate because I can't think of a more disgusting state than Israel, other than our own, of course. Other than our own. And let's be honest here. All of the states on this planet are nasty, authoritarian hellholes, slave factories. And our state is no exception to this. But we've watched these people confront Trump supporters, or even actual anarchists. A lot of people like to say Antifa are anarchists, but really they're not anarchists, because anarchists do not hold fascism dear, as opposed to Antifa, where they are straight up fascist. Or communist, whatever you want to call them. They're straight up authoritarian either way. And the same goes for the hard right, the far right, straight up authoritarian. Alright? But let's continue here. She goes on to say that we have seen teen boys attacked by a grown man because they wore a MAGA hat. And this did happen at a fast food restaurant, and that grown man should have had his fucking ass stomped. Teenage girls screamed at by a liberal city council member in Texas, screaming, "Grab 'em by the pussy," because one of the 16 or 14-year-old girls were wearing a Trump shirt. Men and women physically attacked, and much, much more. Now, it'd be like kind of like a Christian attacking me because I was wearing, say, a Slayer shirt. Or maybe a fan of one of the Kardashians attacking me because I'm wearing a Kill the Kardashians shirt. But, where did I say? Okay, right. Men and women physically attacked, and much, much more. In fact, Breitbart documented over 600 attacks or harassment of Trump supporters from 2015 up until early November of 2018. They should have never stopped updating that rap sheet, by the way. But this is further evidence, if you will, maybe a further symptom could be a better term, that we're not too far off now from that civil war everybody's been anticipating since, well, Barack Obama's presidency. So, this is just more of the symptoms surfacing. The left has been on the attack for more than 4 years, actually. And now the people who have more of a conservative ideology, even if they're not completely conservative, are beginning to fight back. And when that happens, escalation occurs. So, I would expect a whole bunch of talk throughout the winter, and some of the warmer places like South Carolina, California, and so on, to have an escalation in violence. Now, I know I said that at the beginning of summer, or maybe even a little before that white people would start being targeted more and more. I've not made a video on that because, well, this information is very hard to dig up. I mean, you have to go look at the crime section of, all these different places to find it, and then try to figure out who's who. Because, when a white person attacks a black person, it's very, very, very well known that it was a white person. But when the vice versa occurs, you have to dig for that information. But violence is escalating, and attacks on white people have been escalating for quite some time now, and there is no end in sight. The best thing you can do for yourself is to prepare for war. Now, I'm not telling you to participate in the Civil War. That'd be a very foolish thing for you to do, especially if you're not an authoritarian and do not want people like this controlling us. But you should still have the means to protect yourself and to sweep up the mess that has been created by Democrats and Republicans alike. You should have some ammo. You should have a couple of extra weapons, not just for yourself, but for others who may not have one, but has the same mindset that we do. We do not need political parties. We do not need politics. We do not need law enforcement. We do not need attorneys. We do not need any of this shit, because that's what causes all of the problems in this world. Remember, people, in the 20th century, government was the biggest killer of people. Keep that in mind. And until next time, kill the state, live free.